Florida made national headlines this spring.
So we have reviewers, and these reviewers are top-notch.
Outgoing Education Commissioner Richard Corcoran defended the state's decision to reject a record 41% of math books submitted by publishers, telling the public they didn't align with standards or included prohibited topics such as social-emotional learning or critical race theory.
Education establishment, it's gotten increasingly politicized, and they are trying to do ideology.
Now the work starts to replace social studies books, starting with this short list.
We talked to the director of social studies curriculum for Volusia County Schools, and I thought it was important that we speak with someone like him because he's going to oversee the district's involvement in this review process. As the state looks to solicit bids and has already received a short list for new social studies curriculum materials, what role does our local school districts play in that part?
The role we really play is we take the state adopted list, and then we move into reviewing those materials for use within our own district. Our textbook adoption committees will make a selection based on the state adopted list for use for our teachers and students here in Volusia County.
How are teachers in general reacting?
They understand what their parameters are. We help them through making sure that everything that they do in the classroom is aligned to those standards and progressing our students through their academic career.
Have any of them expressed, like angst, concern, worried that they may do the wrong or say the wrong thing?
Sure, yeah. There's always that kind of idea that, how far can you go in a discussion, about any type of controversial subject. And our teachers, especially in social studies, that's in a way that's kind of what we do. We do focus in on controversial subjects as they do relate to to whatever the core standards are, and it's important that our teachers understand that discussion is an integral part of what we do.
I think what it's important to note from our interview with Robert Mulholland is that the teachers in the classroom are very much aware of the restrictions being placed on them in terms of what can and can't be included in the curriculum. And so hearing him walk us through that and how teachers will navigate that process was really insightful. One of the things that we believe is important for our reporting is for us to make sure that we seek out all sides of every story that we do. And we do that by speaking with all interested parties involved. And so as I worked through developing this story, I made a list of people, organizations that could potentially be interviews for this story. And one of the groups that I thought would be able to add something to our reporting is Moms for Liberty. And who are you, Tiffany?
Just mom of 4 kids who ran for school board and realized that parents needed a louder voice in their kids' education. And so with Tina Deskovich, we co-founded Moms for Liberty in January of 2021. And now we have over 200 chapters in 37 states with almost 100,000 members.
Moms for Liberty is able to provide us with insight from their perspective in terms of what should be considered as the state looks to review these new textbooks, but also why it's important as part of this review process to get input from parents. How will students learn about the full scope, the full realm of our American history if you leave out things about racial inequality and things like social justice?
I have no evidence that there's an intention to leave anything out about racial inequality. I mean, I think history needs to be taught about everything that's happened in America so that our children have a clear picture of what has happened in our history and what we hope to have happen in our future. But the truth is that our children are growing up in 2022. And a lot of the things that we maybe dealt with or our parents dealt with are not necessarily things that our children will deal with. They will have new challenges together. And so I feel like we need to teach all of the history. And I think, again, if parents are concerned about what is maybe being taught or not being taught, get involved on that adoption committee.
She believes that for too long, these decisions have been made solely based on what the school district or what the state of Florida believes is best. And now she says that this is an opportunity for parents to make sure that their voices are heard, and they do that by getting involved. And that's exactly what Moms for Liberty plans to do throughout this curriculum review process. Every 5 years, the state of Florida reviews its textbooks to determine if they need to be updated. Dr. Bailey was a social studies reviewer 10 years ago, and so he has also been a part of the process when it comes to choosing textbooks for classrooms. Is there a concern among educators within the social studies world? Has it been politicized? Is this normal conversation we're having about textbooks in the classroom?
Now that we have a name to kind of target, it becomes harder, because what is critical race theory? What is social emotional learning? It's kind of this big umbrella word. And now what I used to do without calling it critical race theory, now a teacher might be concerned. Am I crossing the line? I don't see this as critical race theory, but maybe the state does.
One of the things we learned during the interview with Dr. Bailey is perspective. Dr. Bailey was able to provide us perspective because he was able to give us insight in terms of the impact this entire process could have on teachers in the classroom.
Will students be provided with a kind of watered down version of history? I think from new teachers, absolutely they will, because they may be fearful.
If we have concerns about things that are going on with government in our local school districts, then it's on us to get involved and be a part of the process and educate ourselves about the process. And so this story not only informs and educates our viewers about the process, but it also sheds light on a process that anyone in the public can actively engage in if they want to get involved.
Hi, I'm Greg Wormuth. Thank you for taking a look at our content here on YouTube. If you like what you see, make certain that you like and subscribe to our YouTube page.